Hi guys, welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel. Today I am wanting to talk to you guys about heartbreak and healing from heartbreak. Now I know when I first started this channel I've actually done a couple on how to kind of get through or how to care for yourself when there has been a significant heartbreak. But the other day I was doing the scrolling through Facebook and I found a little quote that really kind of hit home for me in my personal life, but it also helped, in my opinion, it helped kind of communicate what healing looks like and what it means sometimes after significant heartbreak. Now, this video, I'm just going to talk about heartbreak in the context of when a relationship has come to an end, whether you're the one who has decided or your person that you're with has decided that it's time to end the relationship. Usually heartbreak happens, and even in relationships where you've basically decided or it's a mutual breakup, there's still some sadness and loss that's associated with it. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, how to heal from heartbreak. What are some of the things that I typically hear in the therapy room? And hopefully, if you're watching this because you are going through a heartbreak, it will give you some hope or just some tools on how to kind of work through these moments that you're going to experience. So here's the little quote that I found on Facebook that really hit home for me. And the author is unknown, so I don't know who said it, but whoever came up with this, it's a beautiful quote. But it says, "Sometimes closure arrives 2 years later on an ordinary Friday afternoon in a way you never expected or could have never predicted. And you cry a little and you laugh a little, and for the first time in a long time, you exhale because you know you are free." Now, to me, like I said, that hit home for me in my personal journey of love and heartbreak. But I just wanted to share that with whoever might be watching this. Here's the thing about heartbreak and what I tell people all the time. We have to feel the pain. We have to walk through the grief. And we do it in a way that we're not certain when we're not going to feel pain. But the thing is about heartbreak is that it's in moments. And I know I've talked about this in other videos. Life is a collection of moments. And when we feel bad, it feels like overwhelming, right? When we feel an overwhelming sense of anxiety or anger or fear or deep, deep sadness, it feels like it's overwhelming or overpowering. And when we're heartbroken, we feel those things kind of just over and over, and they hit us in waves. And the thing that we have to remind ourselves is, how do we survive those moments? And it is like one breath at a time and one step at a time. So, what I tell people is you do feel pain right now, but that doesn't mean you're going to feel this level of pain for the rest of your life. It means right now you're experiencing this, and let's talk about what are some things we can do while we're kind of working through this or going through this. So for example, when we start to feel that overwhelming maybe sadness or anxiety about the heartbreak, it's typically sadness, but how do we kind of work through it? And what I tell people is stop and take a deep breath. This is like being in the present moment, right? Maybe call a friend, or even if it's in the middle of the night, you don't want to call a friend, the mental health crisis line. Find someone to talk to or connect to. Journal, walk around your house, go get a drink of water, like something you can do that kind of helps stop the ruminating thoughts. And it's something healthy. It's just a quick shift. And even if you have to do that distraction a few times, it helps get you out of that moment of overwhelming, let's say, sadness. And I know that might seem little, but it actually does help, guys. And so I think and the thing is that we don't want to feel pain anymore. When we're heartbroken, we just want to feel better. But the reality is like you've ended a relationship, and we've got to go through the grieving process. Like I was saying earlier, you're not going to feel better right away. sometimes we end up doing things that compromises who we are. We tend to turn towards things that are huge distractions, even if we know that they're not necessarily good for us. And so I just want to say, like, just be mindful if you're making a decision that you know is kind of out of line with who you are, or puts you in situations where you're only going to hurt more. You know, maybe you need to kind of say to yourself, how is this going to help me? Is this going to help me, or is this going to hurt me? You're already hurting. I get it. You know, temporarily, maybe drinking a lot to numb the pain numbs you from everything else. And remember, alcohol only fuels your depression. So let's go back. So again, when you're feeling these moments of overwhelming sadness or anxiety, stop, take a deep breath, and focus on some healthy distractions. The thing I love about the quote I read to you earlier is healing takes place at different stages. When you're grieving the loss of a relationship, when you're grieving and trying to heal from heartbreak, it doesn't look the same for all of us. It's very different for all of us. You know, this quote, I think, spoke to me because we keep chasing this feeling of being free from being sad, or free from kind of still feeling like we're holding on to our ex or the idea of the ex in some way. But I think, you know, closure isn't a formula. Healing isn't a formula. Do these 5 things and you'll feel better. You know, I wish it were. You know, so I think it's looking at, how do I know I'm taking those small steps forward? And maybe it is, you know, catching yourself smiling, catching yourself not thinking about the thing or about the heartbreak, you know, 24/7. Maybe you're only thinking about it 12 hours out of the day instead of 24 hours. You know, it's those small moments that you find that you can breathe a little bit easier. So that's the other thing, guys. Besides just slowing things down, being present, and then, you know, focusing on these healthy distractions, it's being able to know that you're creating small successes along the way. And in our grief, you know, I'm sure you've heard me say too, grief doesn't go away. Our relationship to it changes over time. And even with heartbreak, it doesn't mean you're 10 years from now, you're going to be driving down the street, maybe you hear a song that reminds you of that time in your life. You're gonna remember it, but you're not gonna cry as much, or you're gonna let the feeling come of reminiscing, or, you know, maybe at that point you say, oh, it's good that one's done. Whatever it is, you remember, you connect, and then you let it go. That's why I like that quote so much, is when we're free, we don't hold ourselves back to being afraid of trying again, or, you know, putting ourselves out there, or blaming ourselves about why the relationship ended. You know, we accept, we've grieved, we accept that the relationship has ended, and we've moved forward. And again, guys, for everybody, it's not a certain formula that happens, you know, in these 5 ways. So I think for all of us, it's this individual journey with some similarities. So I think understanding that even in our heartbreak, life continues to move on. And it's okay if we kind of slow down, take some breaths, acknowledge the grief and the hurt and the pain, and then start implementing some things that we know will help bring us back to life. What are those healthy distractions? Who we surround ourselves with, and continuing to step forward. And instead of chasing the outcome of everything has to be fine, it has to be okay, and I want to run into my ex and not have a problem with him or her, like letting go of that and just focusing on, in this moment, how am I caring for myself? How am I making healthy connections? And how am I acknowledging maybe the different emotions that come up when I think about it? And then How do I exhale? How do I breathe? And know that minute by minute, day by day, when we've truly let go, we're healing. And the other thing to ask yourself is, what am I learning about myself as I continue to heal from my heartbreak? Part of the healing process is letting go of parts of who you used to be too, because you're not that person anymore either. So healing from heartbreak is many different steps, and know that the time frame doesn't have to be like the exact time frame for everyone. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone. So slow things down. Remember, life is a collection of moments, not just bad ones, but good ones too, guys. We just have to be open to seeing the good ones and acknowledging the not so great ones in order to move forward. Be present, focus on healthy distractions, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Remember, healing does take place after heartbreak, and it takes work. It's not impossible, it's possible. So, one day at a time. And whether you're collecting quotes that help you feel better, or listening to this, or listening to different podcasts, reading books, whatever you're doing, is you're doing the work to heal your heart. All right, guys, thanks for listening in today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and don't forget to believe in yourself. Have a great day.